Hi everyone, I just wanted to take a moment to explain why I've not been uploading onto YouTube in the last few months. My Google Adsense account was disabled without warning for invalid traffic. Okay, the nitty-gritty of what actually happened. Brief history of the channel. For those of you unfamiliar, I've been on YouTube for 14 years, uploading my very first ukulele cover back in 2013. It was a creative space where I was inspired by a diaspora of musicians, shared my own music covers, and connected with inspiration. As a third culture kid, it was also the comforting solution to share music with loved ones who were living all across the globe. And over time, YouTube evolved into a personal sanctuary, a way to decompress from the rigors of academics and medical school and now surgical training. It was never a numbers game from the get-go, and YouTube was simply my escape. In early 2024, I began uploading a lot more consistently during my final year of medical school. And to my surprise, after a couple viral videos, I became eligible for the YouTube Partner Program on February 4th, 2024, and I officially could monetize on May 1st, 2024. Although I had never pursued this channel for financial reasons, being recognized with monetization felt like a very small but meaningful affirmation of the time and the care that I had put into my work. And I remember earning pennies from the views on my videos. And I was absolutely elated, not only just to have views in general, but also just to earn a tiny little something. So the milestone was symbolic more than anything else. Around this time, I had also received a new training surgical post in a completely different city. A very demanding transition, both professionally and personally. I was adjusting to a new role, a new hospital, a new city, all on my own, whilst trying to maintain some level of consistency on my channel. Naturally, uploads became less frequent, but I still had the motivation and the fire to kind of keep the channel going. In July 2024, I was prompted by AdSense to complete identity verification. Unfortunately, I had a lot of technical difficulties while trying to upload the necessary documents, and given the timing, smack bang in the middle of moving cities, getting a new job, I was unable to troubleshoot immediately. As a result, monetization was paused between July 21st and September 19th, 2024. Eventually, on September 18th, I contacted YouTube Partner Support, and they very kindly assisted me in successfully verifying my identity. On September 19th at 6:22 a.m., I received confirmation that my ID was verified. However, a few hours later at 10:44 a.m., I was informed that my address had been flagged for fraudulent activity. I literally just uploaded the ID that contained my new and accurate address, and my AdSense account was also updated with this new address. So I had no idea what was going on. So I just re-entered the same postcode in the AdSense settings, and monetization was briefly restored for 2 days. Then at 6:15 a.m. on the fateful day of September 20th, I received an email from the AdSense team that my Google Publisher account has been disabled due to invalid traffic. And as if to rub salt into the wound, later that same morning at 9:55 a.m., I was once again prompted to update my address and verify my PIN, which was clearly an automated response that the bots just couldn't keep up with, because they're clearly bots. There's clearly not people behind this. So, to clarify, the only activity on my channel during this period of time was uploading one YouTube short on September 18th and one music cover on September 22nd. That was it. Nothing unusual. I wasn't spamming any content. So this part has been the most frustrating. I meticulously reviewed all analytics available on my YouTube dashboard, and I am by no means an IT expert, but I found no evidence of unusual spikes for suspicious traffic. The views aligned with upload times and it followed organic patterns, and nothing was out of the ordinary. Since the channel's inception 14 years ago, I have never received any policy violation, warning, or strikes. The ads that appear in my videos are claimed by the original rights. holders of the songs that I cover, which is pretty standard for music covers. I never even heard of traffic boosting services or automated view generators until I actually read them in the Google support FAQs, so I don't know. The only logical explanation that I can think of as to why this has all happened is because of the address. When I reinserted the same address in the postcode, it said it was associated with fraudulent activity, even though I gave residential proof and documentation that I indeed do live here, and I just moved here as well. But unfortunately, without access to the same tools that YouTube uses and Google, I cannot determine exactly what went wrong. And so I suspect that this was a technical and not a behavioral issue. I did everything I could. I submitted a very detailed appeal, very concise. I slaved over for several days, complete with a Google Drive folder of screenshots that I took of my channel activity, ID documentation, and traffic analytics, all labeled chronologically, and that also took me hours. And then a few days later, I received a very generic response stating my account would not be reinstated with no further reasoning or opportunity to appeal. To invest over a decade into something, following every rule, never break any policy, and still be removed without a clear explanation is shocking. I felt completely powerless and invisible in a system that provides no transparency or meaningful recourse for small creators who are honest like me. So let me reiterate, I started this channel because I love music and I want to share and create it. I didn't start this channel for money or for revenue. The small milestone of monetization simply felt like quiet validation of years of consistency and effort. What hurts is not the loss of income, if you call it that, pennies. I couldn't even withdraw it because it didn't reach a threshold, so I didn't even get anything. So what hurts is not that. It's the complete lack of recognition for that effort, the absence of context, and the dismissal of everything I've built. I feel like I'm being treated as a statistic in an automated system rather than as a real person who's worked tirelessly on their craft. As an artist channel, this is really important for us in terms of discoverability and pushing out our new music to make it more discoverable. So it really sucks. At this point, I have made the difficult decision to basically stop uploading onto YouTube, at least in the meantime. The platform's lack of transparency and support has left me really disheartened, and I just simply don't have the emotional energy to keep pushing against a system that feels really broken. That said, I am still creating music. I'm still very much active on Instagram and TikTok, and I've uploaded quite a few things on there that I haven't on YouTube. So if you'd like to continue to support my music or share my love for certain songs, please follow me there. And I also have new music coming out in a second album that you'll be able to stream on Spotify and Apple Music or wherever you get your music. All links will be in the description below. Final thoughts, I don't really know if I'll upload again onto YouTube, but I didn't want to disappear without sharing what had happened. Lastly, and most importantly, I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who has supported me throughout the years. Thank you, truly. Your encouragement, kindness, all the really sweet comments that I've had on my videos have meant so much more to me than words can say. You might be thinking, oh my gosh, why are you being so dramatic, Holly? You barely have any subscribers and barely any views on your videos. Well, you know what? To me, every single view, every single comment, I really take to heart and I really appreciate it. And I put in a lot of effort into what I do, and so that's why I'm giving this video and this explanation the same amount of care that I always do with everything else. So this isn't the end of my creative journey for sure. YouTube is just one way that I can put it out, but there's so many other spaces. So thank you very much for listening, and I will see you later.